it's Liz Yuille from Old Stables Crafts. Thank you for joining me again for another Simple Stamping Saturday. Yay! I love Simple Stamping Saturday. It's always the same basic format. Take a simple stamping project and step it up for the casual and the avid crafter, but focusing on the simple project. And all of my simple projects use note cards and envelopes, so it's really easy. You just buy a stamp set, maybe 1 or 2 ink pads, and you can make 20 cards instantly because you've got the note card and the envelope and you've got 20 of each. Today I am using, because I had it out for yesterday's video, the Wonderful Romance stamp set. This is available, certainly at the point when I'm filming this it is available. Sorry, that's irritating me. I love this set. I did a display for my team day back at the beginning of, I want to say February, and huge display of items. It was very popular. I also used the Floral Romance for one of my craft boxes, and I have to say it was the most popular craft box that I had done. Quite a few bits are either currently low inventory or not available now, as in are on back order. So the ribbon, for example, is on back order. So I'm not using anything that at the point of filming this is on back order. So everything that I'm using is currently available. So I'll start by making the simple project, and then I'll show you how I've stepped it up for the casual and avid. So I've started with one of our note cards. Oh, and of course it's Simple Stamping Saturday, so stamp on the envelope as well, because it's somewhere to stamp, so let's stamp. I'm using the largest image, and it's the large floral, and I'm using Fresh Fig because it is one of the colours that's in the suite, and I wanted to have continuity through the projects. So I've actually used Fresh Fig on all of the projects. So let's make sure that's well inked up, and then it just fits if you have it on a bit of an angle. If you put it straight across, it does fit, but it doesn't fill the space as well. So I'm putting it on a bit of a jaunty angle to make sure we fill the space, and then make sure that's well pressed down. It is a large stamp, so do give it a chance to transfer the ink. Then using the same ink, I'm going to pop Thinking of You in the bottom right hand corner, and again you need to leave it there for a little while. And then I've got this little dot stamp which I'm just going to add some extra detail, frou-frou, whatever you want to call it really, some extra texture I suppose, just by going around the image a little bit to just give it a bit of extra, because it's in the stamp set, you've got the same ink anyway, so why not use everything you've got. So I'll pop those to one side to clean later, and I'm going to move them quite a way out of the way, apart from the large stamp, which I am going to just grab a piece of scrap paper and my envelope, and shouldn't have closed that up just yet because I'm going to just ink up the top, this area here, and then, making sure I know which way up is, just stamp in the bottom corner of your envelope, and it just gives it a little something. I think we sometimes forget that envelopes are made of really good quality product, so they're really smooth, really good for stamping on. So why don't we? Right, okay, I'm bringing in a blender pen. You get these in a pack of 3. They are basically a double-ended marker, and they're the same each end, and they've got, they're kind of damp, and they are great for doing little bits of colouring. So what I have done is I'm just picking up the ink. You should always check, and I didn't, but that's because I knew that I was the last person who'd used this, but you should always check to make sure that you know what colour it has been previously on your marker. or your blend pen, because otherwise you could end up with something that is not quite what you intended. So all I'm doing is coming in and just adding a blob of colour in the centre, and then picking up a little bit more colour and scribbling out. And as you run out, just pick up a little bit more colour, and you get nice shading. Don't go over the same area too often or your surface will pill, so it will look like a scruffy jumper, and that is not a nice look. And I'm not being, you know, too fussy accurate. I'm just making sure there is a hint of colour. And it's really therapeutic to do. But it's such a good way of extending your products if you get the blender pen, because you can use it on ordinary cardstock. The aqua painters, you can do similar, so you can pick up our ink in a similar way. And I really must show you how to get the ink in the lid, which I will do in a moment. So yes, aqua painters work in a similar way in that you can pick up colour with them, but our note cards don't really like water. None of the ordinary cardstock particularly likes water. It's not made to have water on it, and guess what? It doesn't like it. The shimmer white and obviously the watercolour papers are okay with water. The watercolour, obviously. The shimmer white can take some. The glossy can take some. I used glossy white on a project earlier in the week for a blog hop that I was part of. So yeah, this is a good alternative, and it means you don't need lots of markers. You just need a set of blend pens and your ink pads. And then, as I say, just scribble on an ordinary piece of paper to make sure that your nib is clean. It will stain, but it will still be clean. So how do you get ink in the lid? You want to close your ink pad up and just squeeze. And I tend to squeeze from both sides, and then you get ink in the middle. And if it doesn't ink sufficiently, just squeeze a bit harder. And there you are. You can see there's a nice big splodge of ink. Now, if you've got an ink refill, you can just plop the ink in the lid from there, or you can use a block. If you don't like the ink getting onto the lid of your ink pad, then just drop some ink onto a block and use that as your palette. Same idea. But for the blender pen, I have to say I tend to prefer picking it up from the lid of the ink pad. It just seems to be a better way of doing it. If you don't have the ink refills and you don't want to do the squeeze method, you can put just a bit of your block onto the ink pad and that will pick up ink as well. But as I say, I prefer to just keep it all contained in the lid. Then you don't waste any. Anyway, so, right. All we need to do now is fold our card in half. I do recommend one of the first things you think about getting as a sort of an extra is a good bone folder. You can get plastic ones very cheaply, but here's the thing. I have two here, so I can do, hopefully you can see. So this is the one I use to re-ink my ink pads, and it's, you can maybe be able to hear it better. Can you hear? That's rough because that's where I've been burnishing, because it's plastic. It's just plastic. So ours are bone. If you have issues with animal products, then yes, I accept this won't be for you, although it is a byproduct of the meat industry, so it's using up a byproduct. But otherwise, Teflon would be the way to go. But I love my Stampin' Up! Bone folder. I have a number. This is my favourite because it's got my initial on it. But yes, plastic, rough, don't want that. Great for re-inking, but not so good for actually doing the job, which is folding. Right, so we've got our card and we've got our envelope. So let me show you the other two that I've done. So for this one, which is for the casual crafter, I've used fresh fig card base. I've cut a piece of the vellum from the designer series paper pack, and then a piece of Whisper White cardstock. I've stamped in the same fresh fig, and then I've used alcohol markers in Petal Pink and Mossy Meadow, and I've had the two duos, and then I've stamped the dots in Petal Pink ink. So I've added an ink pad, and I've added these, and the designer series paper and the coloured card. And then this is the braided linen, which was in the autumn winter catalogue and is carried over. So it's with us certainly at the moment. So that's the casual crafter. So basically we're adding, doing some alcohol markers and some more cardstock. The dye inks will work okay with the alcohol markers. You do want to make sure that they are fully dry before you use them. Memento is the best, but these will work okay, and I use them quite a lot. Then for the avid crafter, I have introduced the die set, which is this. You get 15 dies. So this one will cut out the floral image, but I wanted just the one die cut for this particular project. So I've used the label, and then I've run the braided trim. I've woven it through. I've added gold metallic pearls to the centre of the flowers. That one's not straight. It is now. And then I've done gold embossing for the sprinkles, and then I've added some more of the metallic pearls there, just to step it up a bit more. But otherwise, same card mat, same designer series paper, but vellum, and same white cardstock. So there we are. Simple. So simple stamping, casual crafter, avid crafter. So I hope you've enjoyed that. As ever, because I'm focusing on the simple stamping, I'm not doing dimensions for these two, but they're just matted and layered, so it's just slightly smaller for the two layers. So it's nothing particularly rocket science-ish. Thank you very much indeed for watching. If you don't already subscribe, please do consider subscribing using the bottom right hand corner. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. I am actually away today. I am at the Onstage convention, which is the half-yearly convention where, as demonstrators, we get to see the new catalogue. So I will be able to see new things in the catalogue. Can't wait. I'm so excited. I've got lots of my team coming as well, which is going to be amazing. A couple of them who I've not yet met, which is going to be even more amazing. So I'm really excited. I love being part of this family. We go completely mad at these events, but we love it. And some of them just craft for themselves. Some of them, like me, run it as a business. And it's just such a fun event. There's going to be over 600 of us, and this is just the UK. I can't remember exactly how many there are, but it's well over 600. So it's going to be a fab event. I will share what I can on my business page. My VIPs get to see things first, but then it will be on my business page. So yes. If you have already shopped with me and you've received my VIP newsletter, do remember that if you join my VIP business Facebook group, you will get sneak peeks of stuff. So it is worth doing that. So if you haven't already done that, you know what to do. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, do leave them below. There's a comment section below the description bar. If you click on the link in the description, you'll find there's an associated blog post, and you'll find close-up photos and all that good stuff. All the products I've used, including for these two. I will list the products I've used for this first, and then I'll add on the ones that I've used for this, so you can see as I've built up. But I will list, so I'll list the stamp set and the bundle, because I will have used both. So yes, thank you very much indeed. Have a fantastic weekend, and I know I will, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.